today for Wuthering Waves. Big news about the 2.5 version update that just came out. We now have a look at the 5-star Phrolova, an incoming character, pre-release kit details. So let's see what Phrolova is all about in this video, as a 5-star HAVOC rectifier character coming out in the next update, capable of summoning tacit discords. And also, if you guys want to be kept updated on everything Wuthering Waves, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and put those notifications on. But alright, let's get right into it. Pulling up the HAVOC website featuring all the character kits. Phrolova has now been updated to this website, showing us a preview of her early kit. Well, let's see what she's all about. Now, the first thing is the Ascension and Talent Up materials that we expect Phrolova to use. So you guys can keep that in mind, take a screenshot of this to pre-farm early. But I'll make a pre-farm guide for her in a few weeks from now, so keep that in mind. Alright, next up we have the combat tutorial. Since it's here, we might as well go over it. So casting basic attack stage 3 and resonant skill enables a follow-up with enhanced basic attack or enhanced resonant skill and gains different types of Forte gauges. You can obtain 6 pieces of the Forte gauge, then cast an enhanced heavy attack, dealing massive damage and unlocking Resonance Liberation. Now, after casting Resonance Liberation, Phrolova performs Forte gauge in turn and grants different buff to Hecate, which is her summon. She can summon Hecate, which is a pretty cool mechanic. She can basically summon a boss Echo character to fight for her instead. Now, during Resonance Liberation, when the active Resonator casts Echo skill, Hecate unleashes powerful attack. So you have many different combos you can do with Hecate, and from what I heard, you can even control and do some of the movesets for the summon. So it should be looking pretty interesting here. So here are the movesets, but I'm sure once we read over the actual kit, they should tell us all what these different effects do. Alright, now to cover her skill, the normal attack, movement of life and death. Her basic attack, pretty standard frequency with attacks dealing HAVOC damage. Heavy attack consumes stamina, deal HAVOC damage. Shortly after casting the skill to cast basic attack stage 2 after the normal attack. Now we have the Scarlet Coda. When the following 3 conditions are met, heavy attack is replaced with Scarlet Coda. She can gain something called 6 volatile notes, and when she is not in the resolving chord state, Scarlet Coda consumes stamina to deal HAVOC damage, stagnating and pulling in nearby enemies, so like a crowd control. This instance of damage is also considered resonant skill damage, so she is gonna scale on resonant skill damage. That's one thing to keep in mind when building her echoes. Each stack of After Sound additionally increases the damage multiplier of this instance of damage. Casting the skill is also considered as Echo skill. Phrolova enters resolving chord state and ends Compose. I'm sure later down the line in this video we should be seeing what these effects actually do. Now we have the meter attack and dodge counter. Pretty basic, deals HAVOC damage. We also have the stat bonuses, their crit rate and attack percent. Alright, now we have the resonant skill, attack the target and deal HAVOC damage. We don't have the full details yet, as this is still a early kit breakdown. This is still pre-released and will not be the final kit. So keep that in mind, this is just a preview of what Phrolova is currently all about. Alright, now for the big one, the Forte circuit, looking pretty long, a lot of things here. First thing is movement of fate and finality, casting basic attack stage 3 or resonant skill whispers in a fleeting dream. Turns the next basic attack into basic attack movement of fate and finality, which is dealing HAVOC damage, considered as resonant skill damage, and briefly stagnates the target. Now, what is Murmurs of Haunting Dream? When casting the first basic attack and the whispers in the fleeting dream, turns the next resonant skill into resonant skill Murmurs in the Haunting Dream, which is another resonant skill, dealing HAVOC damage, also considered resonant skill damage. The After Sounds, this is the After Sound effect that she gains. Phrolova can hold up to 24 stacks, and when Phrolova is not on the field, casting an enhanced attack Hecate strings and enhanced attack Hecate cadenza grants 1 After Sound. So yeah, pretty cool thing about Phrolova is even if you switched out of her, the Hecate summon should still be attacking the other characters, applying more DPS to the current character that you're using, which could be really nice. Now with the volatile notes, what are the volatile notes? Phrolova can hold up to 6 volatile notes. When the notes reach the max, gaining new notes move all the previous notes 1 slot to the left, and the leftmost volatile notes, strings, and volatile note winds will be removed. So a bunch of different notes here, which I believe will dictate the attack pattern for the summon. And on how to gain these notes is that you simply do the 2 forms of her resonant skill to grant 1 volatile note, which will grant a volatile note wins, which is going to be different from the volatile note strings, which should change the attack pattern for the summon. I'm sure we'll get more into that once we get to the ultimate, because from what I saw, the ultimate explains everything the Hecate does. Moving on here, we have the inherent skill. Casting Echo skill grants increased resistance to interruption and reduces damage taken by 30% for 15 seconds. That is actually pretty good, a nice damage reduction. 30% is pretty nice for 15 seconds, just for casting the Echo skill, which you want to anyways. And now for the other inherent skill, obtain 8 stacks of after sound upon entering the battle. This effect cannot be triggered again with 1 second after exiting the combat state. For every 1 stack of after sound, her crit damage is increased by 2.5%. When after sound reaches the max, obtaining new after sound increases Phrolova crit damage by 1% up to 100%. That is actually crazy, can go up to 100%. That is a lot of crit damage. The increased crit damage is removed when after sound stacks are cleared, but still this will definitely give her a lot of DPS. Alright, now talk about the Resonance Aberration, her ultimate, which I believe is one of the longest ultimates I've ever seen. Does quite a lot, especially with the summon mechanic, which is integrated with the ultimate. So we have Waltz of Forsaken Depths. When in the Resolving Chord state, Waltz of Forsaken Depths become available. Casting the skill ends the Resolving Chord state, and Phrolova enters the Minstrel state for 24 seconds. Now what is the Minstrel state? Phrolova floats in the air, commands Hecate to attack. Hecate shares Phrolova attributes, and all damage dealt by Hecate is considered to come from Phrolova. During this period, Phrolova will play the volatile notes in order of acquisition, and it's basically controlling what the Hecate does. There's a bunch of different moves. You can Q it to dodge, Q it to basic attack, Q it to do special moves, to crowd control enemies and stuff. There's a bunch of different stuff here like the basic attack Hecate, enhanced attack Hecate strings, enhanced attack Hecate wins from crowd control. There's enhanced attack Hecate cadenza, which is all echo skill damage as well. And there's Curtain Hall Hecate, which is like the final move, can be cast via the following 3 ways by dealing havoc damage, which is either at the end of the Minstrel state or when she's in the Resolving Chord state. You can hold the Resonance Aberration to cast the special Hecate move, which will do a lot of damage. So it's looking really interesting here, a summon mechanic. Now let's keep going on here. We also have more stat bonuses that basically crit rate and attack percent, as we saw earlier. And here we also have the outro skill, which is going to be really interesting. Let's see what she gives to her teammates. The incoming Resonator gains 20% havoc damage amplification and 25% heavy damage amplification for 14 seconds or until they are switched out. When Phrolova is in the Maestro state, when she casts this skill, Hecate additionally casts enhanced attack Hecate 2. Alright, so I believe we went over the most of Phrolova's kit. We do have the Resonance Chain, but usually the Resonance Chain do switch around a lot, especially since this is a early info on the kit details on Phrolova. I'll save that for another video once we get a updated kit details for her. We're also missing her weapon info, so that will be included in the next full kit breakdown for Phrolova. But yeah guys, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe, put those notifications on. Plenty more videos to come on the upcoming update, especially since Lupa is right around the corner. There's going to be a lot of stuff incoming as well, so I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.